Howdy folks, welcome back to Faded Pink Garage. Got the 71 Coronet back in today. Working on resolving the cold start issue. So basically when I pump the throttle, I'm not getting any fuel in the carburetor. I've been having to just pour fuel in the carburetor to get to start, and after that it runs fine. So I've already been tinkering on it this morning. I thought it was just the accelerator pump. Thought I'd get off easy. So I ordered a whole kit, just stole the plunger out of it and unscrewed the top plate, lifted it up enough to replace it. So this is the old one. This part, the rubber part's hard, so I thought I'd probably be in good shape. Well, I've done that and I'm still not getting fuel pumping the throttle. So we're gonna pull the carburetor off and go ahead and go through that, which actually wasn't done very long ago mileage wise, but it's of course been sitting for 20 years. So my guess is there's probably ports that are plugged up, so we'll pull her off there, clean her up, throw the kit in it, and see where that lands us. So not much to do in this. Basically what I like to do is take pictures beforehand, especially on automatic. You got linkage and some connections over here. On this side, you got electric choke, fuel line, not too much to it. You got some vacuum lines. Otherwise you got 4 bolts. Pop it off, throw it on the bench, and start to take it apart. Just make methodical note of what you took from where, so that when you reassemble in reverse order. But I'll show you kind of along as I do this. It's not too hard. Compressed air, carb cleaner, all that stuff is needed to do this. So to do it my way anyway. So we'll get started here. Get it pulled off. Here we are on the bench. So I took it outside, dumped the fuel out of it, make sure the best I could. So now we're going to take the top off. So it's basically, on this model, we've got screws that go all the way around. I'll take the air cleaner bolt out there, and then we'll pull the lid off. And the gasket's going to have to come off when we do that, because the floats kind of go underneath the gasket. So when that happens, we should be able to take this off. There's a couple arms. So this one here, it's got a little cotter key in it. That one will have to come off. And then we got another one over here that runs the choke. So that's got another little cotter key pin there. So that comes off. And then the floats will come up with this when we take it off. Okay, so we basically got it stripped down now, at least to the point that I mean, you could take all this stuff off if you want to soak this, the base part. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm going to kind of feel this out. I know this has been cleaned, before it was parked a long time ago, but I mean, I don't know if you can see in there very well, but there's lots of dirt down in there. And there's a little, either going to be a needle or a ball right in here. And I think that's probably going to be my problem with not getting fuel through the accelerator pump. I believe it shoots through a passageway that comes up, and then the squirters go out there. So I'm gonna guess that's probably part of my problem. So I need to get that out of there. So once you get it to this point, just don't go dumping it out. You don't want to lose that guy. So, but we need to get the fuel out of here. So I'm gonna go dump it outside. And then we need to start cleaning these gaskets out of there, cleaning everything that we can see here. And then once that's done, we'll start running compressed air through all the passageways that we have, making sure they're free and clear. There's some seats, I think, right down in here. We can probably replace that one or just make sure it's clean. Like the car ran just fine, so I'm a little hesitant to completely blow this thing apart, but it is pretty dirty. So And then these were even, the needle seats are still soft, which is good. I might still replace these since I have them, but I don't necessarily think that's something I have to do because they're working correctly. The carburetor's not flooding, running away. There's a little rubber thing here. We'll replace that. There's not much to the top part. We'll blow air through all this stuff, make sure they're happy, but I think that should be fine. Again, because the car was running fine. I think our biggest issue is going to be this power valve circuit or whatever. So, but there's lots of gunk in here. We'll get that all cleaned out. Probably just use carb cleaner. I do have one of these electric cleaners. There's ultrasonic cleaner. If it's real bad, I'll do that. I don't think it's that bad. Again, I've also got carb dip that if it's real bad, I'll soak it in carb dip, clean everything up, which I might do that on the smaller parts just because it's convenient. I'm not going to mess with doing the base, I don't think. Again, I don't think it's that bad. So we'll keep on plugging away here. So this one has a needle that was down in this hole right there. So, and it did not want to come out. I had to take my little pointy tool here and kind of wiggle it around, flipping the carburetor upside down, smacking on it. I finally got it out. So that's likely where my issue is right now with the accelerator pump. So we'll get this all, again, keep on trucking, getting this cleaned out. But this particular one has a needle rather than a ball. So keep going. It is awfully grimy in here, so we'll get that soaking with some carb cleaner. All right, I've got the main part here cleaned up. So a lot of this stuff is just stained pretty good. I'm not too worried about that. So got all these ports and stuff blown out with compressed air. So same thing with all the seats. There are these little jets that are in here. Got those all blown out with carb cleaner and compressed air. So now I'll get these little bits cleaned up and then we'll start reassembling. Well, I've ran into a problem with my rebuild kit. The replacement gaskets for these guys are incorrect. This is the replacement. This is what it had, and that one works good, but this one, it's not covering these channels or whatever you want to call them correctly. So I've dug through some older kits and got just some chunks of material, so I'm going to try to make that twice for the new to replace them. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a leather punch, some other punch tools, razor blades, so I'll see what I can fashion up here. Okay, so I got these gaskets made and installed, but I see what my problem is the gaskets that I thought were for those are actually for these. And so there's no gaskets for those at all in this kit that I can find. So these do fit on here correctly if I put them on there right. So I just need to get these cleaned up and then I can get those reinstalled. So interesting. All right, still making some progress here. Not sure if you noticed earlier when I put these guys on, I forgot to put this back in there, so that's been pulled apart, reassembled again. So they didn't send me a replacement needle for this guy, so I just polished up the one that I had. It was fine. It wasn't like it was worn out or nothing, and it wasn't a rubber seat. It was brass all the way through. So now I'm working on this guy. This gasket didn't have this hole in it. Which is a mounting hole, and it's been a while since I've taken one of these apart, but I'm not sure those are in the later model AFBs, so, or whatever these are called. So I had to punch a hole in that, so that should now work for that. So again, we're just making progress here, slowly but surely. If that wants to fit in there, I need to trim that off a hair. I can see why a guy just want to go buy a new carburetor, because this kind of stuff could be a problem for sure. Not having the right gaskets to do a rebuild than making your own, although obviously it's doable with the right tools and patience. Okay, I was just digging through some old gasket sets I had and found this Edelbrock 1472, and I'm actually thinking some of them gaskets that I made earlier are in here, so whatever, good practice I guess. So anyway, so this gasket looks like it should work. It's the correct style, got all the right holes, so we're in good shape there with that gasket. So this kit wasn't exactly for this model carburetor, but that happens. Said it was compatible-ish. So anyway, so we'll keep trucking here, getting this put together. Alright, ready to put her back on. So this kit came with the thicker, a thick gasket, or when I took it off it just had one paper gasket. That helps insulate the carburetor from heat soak. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to put the paper gaskets top and bottom to help that seal a little bit better. And I had to get a little bit longer bolts. Instead of having studs on this intake, it's got bolts. So I raided my bolt bin and got some that are like a 1/2 inch longer. So we'll get her put back on there. Carburetor's reinstalled. So what I'm going to do now is pour fuel into the vents on here to refill the float bowls, and then we'll see if the issue with the accelerator pump is fixed. There we go. We got squirtage. Awesome. So I'll throw a battery in it a little bit and we'll see if she'll fire up by herself without priming it, which I don't feel all over it already, so that's probably gonna matter at the first start. But we're squirting and we weren't before, so we'll fire it up and see if it still runs. Alrighty, got the air cleaner back on, fancy new element. So we'll see if she starts. Definitely happy with that. Starts up at idle. Oh, we actually got some accelerant we didn't have before. Without that accelerator pump, you don't get that initial throttle response. All right. Well, we won't run it very long. The next tackle I got to tackle some coolant system. It's lost most of its coolant, so we'll do that probably next time. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.